Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Shri Ram, Jai 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 Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. Thank you. When we were going through some of the portions of At the Feet of God, somehow the prompting came that it might become too dry. Why do we say so? It is purely meant for individual sadhana. So that we will keep it. From today onwards, we will take up God experience, volume number 1. When Parampujya Papa was giving Satsang sessions in ashram, Swami Krishnananda Das, Anantaramji's father, who was here at that time, took note of the satsang session and then brought it out in the form of God experience. It will be very interesting, though Papa has touched upon all important aspects of sadhana.
Very inspiring also.
But there is a, what do you call it? We will not feel it dry. We will place ourselves as one of the participants of Papa's satsang. That is the beauty of it. It is not that we are reading the portion from the book. You can all assume either we are sitting at the bhajan hall with Papa,
In front of Papa.
or at the Panchavati. Yes, somebody is in front of Papa. And he talks to us, question was put to him, he answered. Lighter vein also will be there, but serious also will be there. But at the same time, there is it will be lively. It will not be one-sided. Maya. Hari Om, Hari Om. Here it is very heavily raining. 7th January 1961. Papa. The question is about omens and auspicious occasions. Suppose Ramdas goes out for bhiksha at a so-called inauspicious time, and as a result of it, he does not get anything and goes hungry. So much better for him. In the same way, as a result of non-observance of these beliefs, if he meets with opposition, dishonor, blame, injuries, he will enjoy them. Ramdas was never influenced by such considerations. Success or failure, good or bad, all were the same to him. So here we should know that there is a custom. Nowadays we don't know whether it is there. It was very much there to select an auspicious day, auspicious time, muhurt,
Rahul Bala.
Whenever any new thing, Mataji believes in all those things. So what could be the answer? So long as we have not submitted ourselves completely to him, all these things are valid and relevant. Otherwise the mind will say, oh, I couldn't have started on Monday. That is why it keeps on continuing. Suppose you start anything on Monday, the belief is that it will continue. If you start it on Saturday, it's called Sthirava. So like that, so many things are involved. You won't say that it is good or bad. It all depends upon one's own tradition, one's own faith. But this will have no relevance once we have absolutely submitted to God's will. That is why Papa would say like that. Suppose we step out of the house, one cat crosses. You may talk all philosophies, but somewhere in the mind it will say, hey, whether it is good or not. So what we do is we go back, taking half a glass of water and then proceed. Whether it is right or wrong, each one has to. But as spiritual aspirants or devotees, we are trying to place ourselves completely at the feet of God. Then there is no need.
Here we expect an outcome, good outcome. We expect something good outcome. That will be one. That's why we are not. Don't expect anything. It's quite
So it is left to each one of us until and unless we hand ourselves over lock, stock and barrel, to the Almighty Lord of the universe. Now, for example, if a building construction is started at an inauspicious hour, the work it is feared will be prolonged and sometimes never completed. Here at Nileshwar, the government wanted to construct a bridge. Without looking to an auspicious moment, they started the work. Same thing Papa is telling. Without looking to an auspicious moment, they started the work. Nearly 4 years passed and the work could not be completed. For some reason or other, it was delayed. The chief engineer in Madras, a devotee of the ashram, instructed the superintending engineer to take Ramdas over there and receive his blessings. Accordingly, Ramdas was taken there. They had arranged for puja, festoons, flowers, coconuts, arati. Function was gone through. Later, the news came that within 6 months after Ramdas's visit, the work was completed. When God's blessings are with you, there is no question of auspicious or inauspicious time. When Ramdas was going to the forest in his sadhana days, the villagers used to frighten him. Wild beasts were roaming about in the forest. Ramdas was sitting there the whole night chanting Ram Nam. Nothing untoward happened. If you have implicit faith in God's grace and guidance, no power on earth can frighten or harm you. If you meet with obstacles, so much the better. They come as a test of faith. These are all the take-home messages for us. If you have implicit faith in God's grace and guidance, no power on earth can frighten or harm you. If you meet with obstacles, so much the better. They come as a test of faith. But Mataji believes in such things. If a calf is to be given away, she fixes an auspicious day for the purpose. When Ramdas laughs at such things, she says, you may laugh. Sometimes she persuades Ramdas to conform to such practice. All right, he would say, why should he resist? But if it were during the sadhana days, he would not have a thing. Once Ramdas' right eye was throbbing. Ramdas asked what was its significance. Was it good or a bad sign? Somebody said throbbing of the right is good for men and that of the left eye for women. Then Ramdas put the question, is Ramdas a man or a woman? Mataji replied, when the right eye is throbbing, you are a man. When the left eye is throbbing, you are a woman. Both are auspicious to you. So Ramdas is both man and woman or neither. It means that all times, places, signs are auspicious. This is a stage we have to reach. Many people come here and ask for certain dates for their pravesh or something like that. Even for muhurt. So we tell them, you consult an astrologer there. Because that means the very question has come because of their faith in that. Of course, when we were all in village areas, our grandfather, he has taught us 7 days to be avoided for any good thing. So all those things we remember. So whenever somebody else, we used to share, whether it is we observe. We don't personally observe anything. But whenever somebody asks, we do that. There are certain norms, as is said, Rahu Kalam, Guru Kalam. When you go to the calendar, you will find them. And the easy way for us is, we will try to find out the Muhurtam days every day. That means the astrologer has taken pains to fix the Muhurtam day, marriage day on a particular day. So that means it should be auspicious. So we will tell them that is the Muhurtam day, you can have it. For everything, in Indian tradition, it was there for, what do you call it, naming ceremony, for Annaprashanam. First time food is given to the child. Then Aksharabhyas, everything, there is an order. So we don't belittle that order because we have not reached a stage where we see everything as God. Then we are above Gunatita, Trigunatita, Dandvatita. Before reaching that, it is no use telling that any day is all right because the person who is, the moment he asks, that means he has faith in it. We don't have to give him a long lecture and tell him every day is a good day. Whenever Ramdas started on his tours, Mataji would fix an auspicious day. And if it was never on a Saturday, many a time when he was wandering alone from place to place, he might have started on Saturdays. He does not remember whether anything untoward happened to him in consequence. Ramdas was daring and fearless. He did not care for auspicious moments or omens. When Ramdas left his home in 1922 and wandered about without any money, it was his Shani Dasha. It was Shani that drove him out of his home. When he found this out later, Ramdas did namaskar to Shani, for it gave him vairagya. If some good planet was there, it would not have been beneficial to him. Shani Dasha was a boon to him. Some years ago, an astrologer came to Ramdas and asked for his horoscope. Why? Asked Ramdas. He replied, I will read and tell you the planetary influence on your future. Ramdas is playing football with the planets, said Ramdas. He bowed and quietly left the place. Ramdas does believe in astrology. He believes in the influence of planets on human lives. But by the power of Ram, he could digest our situation and could be always perfectly happy. His horoscope is Ram. 8th January 1961. Today Ramdas is going to talk about worries. Worry is the experience of everybody. There is no person who has no worries. In fact, rare is the person who is free from worries. What should we do when worries and anxieties beset us? We should throw our burdens on God and be free from them. We have to depend upon God, leave all our cares to Him, because He is all-powerful, all-loving, all-merciful. Mother has worries because the child looks up to her for everything. As the child has a mother to look after it, it is free from cares. So when there is God to look after us, why should we worry? If God does not take up our burdens, if He does not worry about us, we are lost. In this connection, Ramdas remembered the story of Saint Damaji, a great devotee of Vithoba of Pandharpur, how he relieved the distress of thousands of starving fellow men by the fearless act of charity, and how God saved him by assuming the form of a pariah. So what do you want to be? You should be a devotee and also God. When you receive succour from God, you are a devotee. When you are compassionate and are helping others, you are acting the part of God. This is another important point for all of us to ponder deeply. We are devotee and God. When you receive succour from God, when we feel that He is helping us, He is hearing us, we are devotees. When you are compassionate and you are helping others, you are acting the part of God. So there the absence of otherness comes. That is the characteristic or attribute of God. It is spontaneous. It is not a product of a thought. Intellect has no job there. You are fired to go and help the boss. The why and whereof you will not. Real compassion is Buddha's compassion. It flows out to everybody alike. Ramdas remembers one instance. When he was in Bijapur many years ago, he was the guest of a Gujarati merchant. He was there for 2 days. Then he wanted to go and beg his food in the street. He was told that in a certain house, sadhus were given rice, dal and other provisions free. He went there and got everything, which he tied up in his cloth. At that time, a man on his opposite side of the street was watching Ramdas. He ran up falling at Ramdas as he cried, "My wife and 2 children are starving at home. I am a householder and therefore I will not be given any bhiksha. Will you give me the provision which you got now?" Ramdas cheerfully gave it all to him. He was very happy. He addressed Ramdas, "You are not a human being, you are God. I have received this help from God Himself. You are God incarnate." Ramdas was thrilled. So when you go to the rescue of another with a heart full of compassion, you play the part of God Himself. Such acts grant you immense peace and joy. The more you are helpful to the distressed, the more your heart softens. A soft heart is the heart of God. From such a heart, relief comes to you also when in trouble. Every day Satsang, some points are there. Before we proceed, Every now and then we have to do some recap. Otherwise, it will be just a reading. First, he was talking about faith, planetary, omens, auspicious days. Nothing wrong in following the traditions. There are so many factors. That is why probably astrology came into the picture. Otherwise, where will the ordinary person get guidance? And if you closely observe in Kerala, when suppose, when somebody is beset with a lot of problems, problems again, one after another. And when he becomes desperate, he goes to the astrologer. The astrologer has got a process, a method. With that, he reads your horoscope or he reads on at the time of your going there. And they have a science. Based upon that, they will tell you that you are passing through such and such a bad period, and he will suggest certain pariharas. What is the parihara? You go to this temple, that temple, do this, do that. All to connecting ourselves with the worship of the personal aspect of God. That's all. Then we try to understand. So astrology is there. So when I am hard pressed, when I am cornered, when I get frustrated, I need some help, So he will say, if you do this parihara, you will be all right. You feel all right. People go there and do it with 100% faith, and they get the relief. It need not necessarily be the way it is. Especially, nowadays, students apply for higher education in States and UK and so many other places in Germany. So they need visa. So somebody said, if you do 108 pradakshina to Balaji, you are sure to get visa. And many are the recipients. That is why, when you go to the temple, you will find youngsters, 18, 19, 20-year-old boys and girls will be scrupulously doing the pradakshina, making how many rounds they have made, 1, 2, 3, 4, and chanting Srinivasa's name, and they get the result. He is called Visabhasa Balaji. So the faith is there, nothing wrong in all those things. Until we hand ourselves over completely, these are all valid and these have relevance in our life. If we are always convinced, we may not be able to say that we have dedicated our entire life to God. We need not. Suppose we say that anything happens is okay for me. For such people also, no such concentration is necessary. It's all right. I will try. If I get it, okay. If I don't get it, okay. He may not bring the word God realization or God's will or submission or surrender. But actually he is surrendering. He is comfortable. Happening or not happening. So, because everything is God's, Even the tradition has been brought out by him. So we don't have to berate it. That is the first message Papa gives. That is why when Mataji does that, he will join. Because Mataji has got her own reasons. During the Ashtagraha Yoga, many of you might remember, senior devotees, she put a ban for everybody not to come to ashram even. It was inauspicious, so she wanted everyone to chant Ram. It must have been in 70s, 60s or 70s, 70s or 80s. Ashtagraha Yoga was supposed to be very bad. Mataji was very particular. Nobody should come to ashram. In the sense, nobody should travel. They must avoid minimum. Mother, we had her own reason, because she was a mother. She doesn't want anything to untoward to happen to anybody. So this is the message. For those who have completely left everything to God, to them there is no need. That was the message from the first. And second one was worries. Here also he was telling about that. That means we have to somehow bring him into the picture. It can be in so many ways. When you are the cause of everything, you must have you must have your own reasons for it. Just make me aware of it. In a lighter vein, somebody will say, a lock manufacturer does not manufacture only locks. He also manufactures keys. So that means when a problem is created, the solution is also inherent. The only thing is, suppose we have forgotten the key somewhere, there will be tension, no doubt. We keep on searching. And if you don't get the key, we get for a duplicate key. And somehow we open. So there is an answer. Because it is God who has created the problem. So it is God, the Creator has also got the answer for it. So that is how we at that time intensely pray to Him, submit to Him, and the key can be in any form. It can be in the form of a direct solution to the problem. It can be a resignation to the will of God. It can be an acceptance of the situations calmly, in so many ways. Finally, we come to know, unless and until I am made to go through that, I will not be having this. So the answer has already come. So if God does not take up our burdens, if He does not worry about it, we are lost. Then one more point is, we are devotees as well as we are God. Whenever we receive succour from Him, and there is a beautiful word. Whenever I feel I have been blessed by Him, then only I am a devotee. Outwardly, I may be doing so many things to qualify myself or to be called or to be named as devotee. By doing namaskar, by offering flowers, by doing pujas, so many things, applying chandan. We do that. But the real devotee, he gives it. He is the one who becomes aware of the grace. He is the real devotee. And when does the God element come out? When you become compassionate. Because if you closely analyze, at the time of your acting, there is no otherness there. You are prompted from within to rise up to that particular, and you do it fast. Why you do it, all those things come later. There are umpteen number of instances that are going on every day. If we look at the newspapers here, you will find how many God does it through silent souls. Something we cannot even imagine. Such wonderful things. Later on we applaud, we give them award, we recognize, okay. But at the time of doing it, there was no thought process involved. So when you are compassionate, you play the part of God. was quoting that how he was, when he handed over the rice and other to a Grihastha, he said, "You are God." Then Sri Krishna, 9th January 1961. Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita speaks of Karma Yoga and Karma Sannyas. He says Karma Yoga is superior to Karma Sannyas, which according to ancient customs was adopted as the fourth stage of life. Brahmacharya, Garhastya, Vanaprastha, Sannyas. These four stages of life have been prescribed in the Shastras from ancient times. Sri Krishna's avatar was for pointing out a new path for attaining salvation or moksha. Traditionally, a man in the fourth stage lived in the forest as a sannyasi, stopping worldly work completely. But Sri Krishna said that one could attain the state of liberation even while doing work in the world to the very last. So he established what is called Bhagavata Dharma, in which there is no need to renounce anything externally by inner renunciation. But inner renunciation is necessary. Otherwise, there is no moksha either for the sannyasi or for the household. Inner renunciation is attained through complete surrender to God, not possessing anything as belonging to oneself, but as belonging to God. This dedicated life leads to the dissolution of the ego sense and the attainment of jnana. The method employed to reach this stage is to consider oneself as a devotee or a servant of God, dasya bhava. I am thy servant, thou art my master. He works in the world as a servant of God, doing everything for the sake of the master in order to please him, capital M. Such a devotee need not renounce anything externally. All his actions are done in a spirit of dedication to God. Matrudevo bhava, Pitrudevo bhava, Acharya devo bhava, Atiti devo bhava. Let your mother be God to you, let your father be God to you, let your spiritual preceptor be God to you, let your guest be God to you. In this spirit, he dwells in the house. Then he is an ideal householder. Karma Yoga and Karma Sannyas. Vinobaji has elaborately dealt with this. This is applicable for everyone. He beautifully brings it out when a mother is asked, Sannyasa and yoga represent the highest flights of the human spirit. Yoga means here karma yoga. Sannyasa and yoga are ideals which are impossible to attain in their fullness within the confines of this body, but human thought can rise to such heights. A true yogi and a true sannyasi will exist only in definitions. The ideals will always be beyond our reach. But we have to take as examples persons who have approximated the ideals and say on the lines of geometry, let so and so be taken as a perfect yogi, so and so be taken as a perfect sannyasi. While talking about sannyas, this we have read,
Yes, sir.
but it is nice to read that sugar doll. While talking about sannyas, the names of Shuka and Yajnavalkya are usually mentioned. As examples of karma yogis, Janaka and Krishna have been mentioned in the Gita. Lokamanya Tilak has listed a number of yogis and sannyasis in his treatise Gita Rahasya. He has written that King Janaka, Lord Krishna, took the path of karma yoga, while Shuka and Yajnavalkya took the path of sannyas. But these two paths are not mutually exclusive. Janaka the karma yogi was a disciple of Yajnavalkya the sannyasi, and Shuka the disciple of Janaka took the path of sannyas. What this means is that yogis and sannyasis are parts of the same chain. Yoga and sannyasa constitute a single order. They are not mutually exclusive paths.
So just now Papa told karma yoga is superior.
We'll come here. Actually, we cannot say it is superior. While discarding his clothes, he quoted the same thing. He feels karma yoga is superior. But here we find both are equal. And why Prabhupada said it is, Vinobaji also joins. When a mother is asked, where is that? She has got two sons, two children. Which children is dearest to you? So the first one is grown up, he can look after himself. The second one is always, with the mother for anything and everything. So she says, it will be difficult for me to be without him. The other one, he can live. She cannot directly answer that she is more loving towards the second one. Love towards them are equal.
So that example is for Saguna and Nirguna Bhaktas. That was your problem. This example just now you have told it. That is for Nirguna and Nirguna Bhaktas.
He says, he compares same thing for
Yoga and
in that chapter, he says it is like karma sannyas and yoga. So here he says still yoga is better than sannyas, because nevertheless the Lord has given a little more weight to yoga. He says that karma yoga is superior to sannyas. Why does he say so when there is no difference between them? What does it mean? When the Lord says so, it is from the standpoint of a seeker. When the Lord's doing everything without being active is possible for a realized soul, not for a seeker. But it is possible for a seeker, at least to some extent, to follow the way of doing everything without getting attached to work. That is acting outwardly but remaining inactive within. Working without outward action will be a riddle for a seeker. He will be at a loss to understand it. For a seeker, karma yoga is both the way and the goal. That is a purpose is, it is superior. From our standpoint, we are all seekers. For a seeker, karma yoga is both the way and the goal, but sannyasa is only the goal. It cannot be the way. Hence, from the standpoint of the seeker, Karma Yoga is superior and preferable to sannyas. By the same reasoning, the Lord has in the 12th chapter said, Saguna is preferable to Nirguna. All the organs can be put to use in Nirguna sadhana. It is not so in Nirguna sadhana. All the organs can be put to use in Saguna sadhana. It is not so in the Nirguna sadhana, where there is no work for the organs. This is difficult for a seeker to follow. In Saguna sadhana, eyes can behold the form, ears can hear his praise, hands can worship him and serve the people, feet can be used to go on pilgrimage. In this way, all the organs can be given some work, and putting them to such use, they can gradually be saturated with the divine consciousness. This is possible in Saguna sadhana, not in the Nirguna sadhana, where there is no use of any organ. There is, as it were, a ban on the use of all these organs. Such a blanket ban could very well frighten the seeker. How can then Nirguna get imprinted on his mind? If he sits still, his mind will get filled with all sorts of useless and untoward thoughts. The nature of the sense organ is such that they invariably tend to do what they are told not to do. Do not the advertisement exploit this very way? They start with the headline, don't read this. Then you will read, no? So the reader is intrigued and invariably reads that what follows. That is the very purpose of the advertisement, to induce the people to read their contents attentively. In Nirguna sadhana, the mind will wander aimlessly, while in Saguna bhakti, it will be engaged in something or the other. In Saguna bhakti, there is place for worship, service, compassion. The organs have something to do in it. If the organs are so engaged, the mind will not go anywhere, even if given freedom to do so. It will get interested in the activities and will automatically get concentrated without even being aware of it. So here the Karma Yoga. Sannyasa and Karma Yoga are of equal worth, but Karma Yoga has an additional practical value. A currency note and a gold coin of the same denomination have the same value as long as the government is stable. But if the government collapses, the currency note is reduced to a piece of paper, whereas the gold coin will have some worth under all circumstances in it. It is, after all, made up of a precious metal. In the perfect state, Karma Yoga and renunciation of action have the same value as self-knowledge is there in both of them. Value of self-knowledge is infinite. In mathematics, there is a principle that if you may add any quantity to infinity, the total remains equal to infinity. Karma Yoga and renunciation of karma are of equal value when coupled with self-knowledge. But when self-knowledge is deleted from both the sides, Karma Yoga is preferable for a seeker. Action through inaction is a riddle beyond the understanding of a seeker. Karma Yoga, as already stated, is a path as well as the destination, while sannyasa is only the destination. In the terminology of scriptures, Karma Yoga is a means as well as the nishtha, while sannyasa is only the nishtha, that is the ultimate state. So that is why he says Karma Yoga is superior. He does not reject anything, but accepts everything without attachment. Attachment is when you love some and do not love others. You love those who are related to you, who are your kith and kin. Beyond the pale of that circle, you have no love or concern for anyone. But the ideal householder loves all alike. The neighbor in difficulties is considered in the same light as one who is near and dear to him. This is the right vision, and in that vision there is no attachment. It is moha, when your love is confined only to your kith and kin and not extended to others. The sense of I and mine comes into play here, which vitiates your outlook in life. Householder saints lead their lives in accordance with the Bhagavad Dharma preached by Sri Krishna. You are a householder to serve God, serve parents, serve guests, serve those who are in distress, looking upon all these as the manifestation of your Master, your God. This vision of seeing the Lord everywhere was held out by Sri Krishna. According to a certain system of philosophy, the world is looked upon as an illusion. So ultimately, you discard everything. Go to the forest for your salvation. Here it is not so. The same salvation you can attain by living and acting in the world, by dedicating your life to God, your beloved Master. There is no bargaining in it. It is spontaneous service, cheerfully rendered to God. That is why you remember the other day when we were reading Ishopanishad's first sloka, Ishavashyamidam sarvam. There, it was elaborately explained. Early morning when we get up, we try to recognize that everything is God's. Ishavashyamidam sarvam. The entire thing is pervaded by Him only, everything is His only. Nothing is mine. Who is it? Gandhiji, no? At the early morning when you get up, before you do anything, we get up from our bed and close our eyes and pray to Him. You have given me a day now. Enable me to feel that I have dedicated my entire thing to You. Thought, word and deed, everything is Yours. So that throughout the day, whenever I handle anything, whenever I deal with men and matters, the me and mine will not come. Because everything is God's. We are not running away from any field of activities. God face to face, you should see Him in His creation and be one with it. This is relatively easy, Then closing our eyes, controlling our listening, and very difficult. When He is there before us as an entire creation. Papa put it in a simple form: to love all is the true bhakti of God, and to serve all is the real worship of God. All means every creation. So our Ramnam chanting should enable us to do that. This is the message. Karma Yoga and Karma Sannyas. And when he says that Karma Yoga is superior, after some time, he put on the ochre robe by himself. And he removed the ochre robe at a later date. So when somebody asked him, he says the same word, Karma Yoga and Karma Sannyas. Now there is no distancing between me and the rest of the people. I find blissful when I am one with everybody. Otherwise, unknowingly there is a separation. He even went to the extent that I can mingle with anybody now freely. I consider this more blissful than people offering their respects to this form. There he quotes this specific Karma Yoga and Karma Sannyas. So in a nutshell, we can feel Karma Yoga is the field in which all of us are there. Sannyasa is meant only for certain people. And they have got their own regulations, rules, everything. We are not questioning it. They may have their own. God has got their own reason to adapt to such a life, give them such a feeling. But here, Gandhiji, Papa, Mataji, they have all shown us this path. That you can be 100% spiritual and at the same time 100% be in the same field. You don't have to change the field. Only the attitude gets changed, that's all. During his foreign tour, somebody was asked, in your ashram, he said, there is a big family. children, ladies, cows, so many things. Just like it's a big family, that's all. But the thing is, there's a fundamental difference in the approach. Nothing is mine. Including the sevaks, they will know that it is ashrams. There is a sense of belonging to ashram. But at the same time, they know it is not, it is ashrams, not their individuals. So there is activity there, easy for us. Spirituality becomes easy for application in Karma Yoga. Spirituality becomes difficult in application while in sannyasa. Question. Results of past karma stands as obstacles to spiritual progress. The law of karma operates and clashes. The law of karma operates and clashes occur in the family. What can we do? This was the question put to Papa. Papa, this is because of your deliberate unwillingness to live the spiritual life. Whenever you are not able to do it easily, you talk of karma. But when you go to the office and do all sorts of work for earning money, you do not talk of karma. Nothing comes in your way. Obstacles do not hinder you. Ramdas will tell you of an incident. There was a munsif at Ernakulam who used to come to Ramdas when he was a guest and a friend there. He was interested in religion. He was doing puja, sandhya, etc. regularly in the formal way. He was earning 300 to 400 rupees a month. He was a great miser. Swamiji, he said, I like sovereigns very much. My love for money is more than for Ragna. In the evenings, I usually go out for a walk. I see a beggar sitting. He cries for help. I feel I should give him 2 annas. By the time I put my hand in the pocket, I feel 1 anna will do. When I take the coin in my hand, I think, why an anna? Half an anna is sufficient. And when taking out the money, I take a quarter anna and give it to him. What is this due to? He asked. This is because you love money more than everything else, said Ramdas. So it was not past karma that prevented him from giving that man 2 annas. It was stinginess, unwillingness. He could get over that. When you have an occasion to do a good thing, you do not will it, but plead weakness and hesitate. Here past karma plays no part. You have the initiative to do other things. You put forth all your energy. In giving anything in charity, you plead that you are weak. You do not want to be liberal. By discrimination, you can bring up good thoughts to control your life. You say, what can I do? My bad karma stands in the way. You have the power to subdue such thoughts. Many do it. Suppose some people are prone to lead an immoral life and at the same time have a decent position in society. For fear of public censure and losing their prestige, they suppress the temptation. It is in their hands to live a good life or a bad life. Some failures, calamities and losses may come through past karma, but your present and your future are in your hands. This is also a powerful message for all of us, not taking shelter under anything. Purushartha. God has given us, every one of us, some freedom, sense of freedom to act. We need not take under shelter. That is His will. It is His will that you should take the initiative. In Bhagavad Gita also it comes, Mataji used to specifically mention, you might be remembering some of you. If you don't ask, He will not give. You must turn towards Him, then only He will look at you. If you turn towards Him, He will not interfere. He will be an upadrashta. He will be a vacha. The moment you turn and pray to him, he will definitely. That means what? There is a sense of some leverage is given to us. You are not fully independent, some leverage as an individual. That is why this intellect has been given. Intellect gives us some freedom. It is not absolute freedom, it is relative freedom. Another question. My eldest son is employed. My daughter is married. Second daughter is to be married. I retired in December 57. We can just carry on. We are not rich. For the last 10 or 12 years, I have been very much interested in scriptures. I have been trying to live a religious life after retirement. I like to read spiritual books and attend religious discourses. My people are against all this. They want me even now to work and earn. The more I earn, the more they spend. Things come to such a pass that I could not but leave that place. I went to the north and visited one or two ashrams there, but the climate did not suit my health. Sometimes food also did not agree with me. In October, I returned to the south. I had a vague idea of this ashram, and somehow God has brought me here. I am peaceful here. I wish to have your advice as to what I should do in the circumstances, whether my action is right or wrong. Papa, leave things to God, take His name. He will look after everything. Only remember God. Question. My people say they will look after everything and are happy without me. They will look after everything and are happy without me. I also cannot get on with them. But I do not feel that I am fit to adopt sannyas and go to the forest. At the same time, I want a shelter. Very practical, no? Papa, you are an unwanted person there. In the present state of things, you have done well to come here, and you are at peace. Do not worry anymore. Leave things entirely to God. Here he is using the freedom. We should know that, no? He is using the freedom of choosing this or that. Leaving everything to God. That is also a freedom, no? Because of a freedom. Either to rely on God's manifestation of situations and act or react, or rely on Him. So, like that, we have got question answers also. It will be very interesting. So, the practical questions are raised by many of the devotees here. 99% of them are grihasthas only, employed people, retired people. So, every time Papa answers to this, it might give us some clues how to polish our lives. At the moment it is raw and crude. That is why we find friction, we find so many things. But pondering over the replies of Papa, it might give us some clues, give us some answers. When we are desperate, when we are frustrated, there is suddenly he will say this, leave it to God. First he will say, don't leave everything because of the past karma. So that means each and every moment. I remember now when this dowsing, this pendulum. You might be seeing Puja Swamiji using pendulum. It is called dowsing. A system came from Germany to diagnose. When we were discussing with Puja Swamiji, he used to say, never rely on it 100%. Why, the reading or the message the pendulum gives, it is based upon the metabolism that is going on in our body. Every moment it changes. The change will be reflected there. We are assuming, suppose I get headache, it might be due to sinus. Based upon that I take a medicine. I don't get relief. I must have done the browsing. But at that particular moment, it could be the sinus. But next second, it could be due to my eye problem. It could be due to my stomach problem. Like that, there are so many reasons. So he will say, don't rely on it 100%. So it changes from situation to situation. So one page back he said, don't say it is my karma. Then later on when the person says, I have done this much, leave it to God. It is not paradoxical. It is not one against another. This is how it comes. Every moment, every situation keeps on changing. And every person is unique. Every person's attitude is unique. When somebody went and asked Papa whether I should take sannyas, Papa said no. Because if you want to take sannyas, you will not ask. That means there is some lingering somewhere there. You are not 100% sure. Should I get married? He said, yes, you get married. If you don't want to get married, you will not ask, There is some clinging there. So like that, it changes. The situation is different. So we need not think why sages say this and say this. It depends upon so many factors. So as a devotee, as a sadhaka, I should take everything in that attitude and then do some pondering, then fit it with our own life. Because God has given all of us so many types of experiences. We have named certain things as good, as certain as bad, favorable and unfavorable. Most distressing, most trying, all those things. So we have also passed through so many things. And unknowingly or knowingly we have accepted His finger of help. Many a time we have prayed. Many a time we would have handled it by ourselves, we think. God made us to handle ourselves. Later on when we hear discourses from a spiritual preceptor, then we realize, it was all God prompting me to do that, motivating me to do that. Like that, everything comes one by one. So we will take up this God experience every alternative day.
Now Monday, Wednesday.
So there is a small change in our session. Today is Wednesday. So it will be Friday, then Saturday again off, Sunday, and Monday off, like that. Every alternative day we will have an off.
So it is 7
for some time to come.
7 days, no, Swamiji?
Every alternative,
no, doesn't matter.
That will change every alternative.
Every alternative day we will have, but whenever it happens to be Sunday, we will have it on Sunday because Sunday is a holiday for everybody.
And on special days, it will be there. Special days like birthday, Masama.
One day, that you will see. For some time to come, then we will have once in a week. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram